come in, I just want to say thank you for having the impact that you did on so many of us. It's amazing. You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so we have the amazing John Carpenter on stage. Who wants to start with the first question? And make it good. Come on. Raise your hand. Who wants to go first? Yes, sir, in the back.
If you never made Halloween, do you think you'd be popular as you are now?
That is a great question. Man, I don't have a fucking clue. I don't know.
Apparently you've never done anything else, so. Next question. Anyone? Yes.
What's the chance of you working again with Kurt Russell?
Stay from Cleveland.
Well, he's still alive, and so am I, so there's a chance. We'll see. You never know.
Yes, in blue.
What's your favorite movie that you've done so far?
None of them. I probably like The Thing most of all.
Yes.
How did I get into directing?
Yes, everything. Like, what influenced you to do what you're doing?
Well, when I was very young, I fell in love with cinema. And on a very primitive level. I just loved movies. I loved going to movies. And when I was 20 years old, I had the opportunity to go to USC Film School and learn the technique and craft of making films. And I went there. It was the best experience of my life. It really prepared me for directing films. And then it's just drive and luck. You have to be in the right place at the right time, and you just can't stop. You have to keep trying. So I wrote myself into business. I wrote screenplays. And finally I said, I'm going to direct this one. But it's a drive that came from childhood.
Okay, next question. In the gray shirt. We'll get you next. Go ahead. It's okay, go ahead.
Out of all of your films, which do you think was the closest to your original vision, and which one do you think was the hardest to make?
Well, none of them are like the original vision. When you sit down and either write a script or read a script, you're not thinking about the realities of standing out on the floor or on location and making a movie with a bunch of actors who won't do what you want. So you have to throw that vision away real fast. You'll be disappointed. What was the second part of that question?
What was the hardest movie to make?
Hardest movie to make. Boy, that's a good one. Well, in many ways, The Thing was very difficult to make from the physical standpoint because we were in very terrible conditions shooting that. So that was difficult.
Next question. All the way in the back. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta get this gentleman here. He asked your question? All right, in the back.
When you made it film a little time, what was your favorite moment to make that movie?
My favorite moment? Probably the fight scene. I love shooting the fight scene. It was a lot of fun.
Next. Come on, guys, raise your hand. In the back, yes.
John, I'm wondering if you might be able to tell us about what part of the screenplay from the original Halloween you can say was Deborah's and what was yours?
That's really hard to say. We outlined it together. She sat down and wrote the first draft.
Right.
And then I sat down and just polished the whole thing up. Impossible to say.
If I can ask a question about that, as far as sharing that time with her and writing as a team, what kind of problems did you guys have?
What kind of problems between us did we
So,
have?
yeah, like creativity, creatively.
None whatsoever. It was really the hardest thing to do in a script because you're figuring out all the first, second, third act, all the characters, and then my job was really easy. So it was really simple. And we had a great time writing it. That's fabulous. Well, I'm really boring, aren't I?
No, not at all. No,
This is terrible. Let's do something juicy. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on.
All right, I'll have a juicy question.
All right, which movie, and I'm sure I'll get a bunch of movies over this question, but which movie are you more disappointed with ever made? Ghost of Mars or Escape from LA? Seriously.
Neither.
Escape from New York was great, but what the hell happened with Escape from LA?
Fuck you. Anybody else?
Not quite so juicy this time.
How important would you say music is to the full effect of the film?
A complete, total, 100% important. On the other hand, sometimes you don't want music.
Right.
So it's the ability to be able to choose and know when to drop back and when to put it in. And in terms of my own music, all I did was, I'm like the guy who lays the carpet in your house. I put down a carpet so you can walk gently across the floor. Yeah, you have these scenes going by, and I just try to put a carpet under them. I don't want you to notice the music too much. I just want to support the sequences as they're going by. Then sometimes you want to be completely quiet.
Excellent. I think that was a good question. Yes.
Just to get out of the way, what do you think of Rob Zombie's Halloween?
I have absolutely no comment on that. What do you think about Rob Zombie's house? What's it?
No tension.
Well, I could go off about an hour about that, but yes, sir.
Is there a dream project or an actor that you really want to work with?
John Wayne. I never got to.
Great project.
I wanted to do this science fiction novel called The Star Is My Destination by Alfred Bester. Parts of it are unfilmable, I think, but I would have loved to have done that.
You said no. You said that kind of in a past tense. Do you think that you're pretty much done?
Well, first of all, it would cost this huge, gigantic space opera. I just think the budget would be prohibitive at this time.
Okay. Let's call somebody yes in the blue.
Sir, with the influx of horror movies today, is there one that you can see that you can say, man, I wish I could have gotten my hands on that script, or I wish I could have had the chance to direct that film?
Not in that sense, but I think there are a lot of good ones made. There was a movie a few years ago, what was it, Let the Right One In? Yeah. I thought that was real good.
Let me ask you a question about that, because of you know how in America there's a lot of remakes from horror films. Do you think that it needed to be remade?
No. They're remaking The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Have you guys seen that movie? Those three movies are fabulous. They don't need to remake it. The leading actress is unbelievable. Why are they remaking it?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Since we're on that topic, maybe I'm looking under a rock. Are you involved with the prequel thing coming out in October?
Not involved at all.
What do you think?
I got a lunch. The producer took me to lunch. It was pretty good. They're doing the story of the Norwegian camp, something that happened in my movie before we come upon our characters. It could be great.
No, come on, I'm not going to mess with this now. I have a good question this time.
No. The guy in the back is what I was talking to.
Wow. So I was just going to say, the remaking, or I don't know if it's a remake, but they're making the thing again. What's your opinion on that?
But they're doing it. that's what they're doing. I have no idea whether it's good. I don't know. I hope it's great.
The gentleman with the racial was the water.
Yeah, since we're on top of remakes, is there a remake of one of your films that you actually find tolerable?
Strangely enough, I like the remake of Assault on Precinct 13. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was all right.
Is there anything that's in your library of films that you really don't want touched, that you would like them to be?
And no, and as a matter of fact, if I own the rights or have written the character, I prefer you remake it because I get a check.
That is as honest as you can get. So who has a question? Raise your hands. Yes, sir.
Question, when Christine, what was the idea in making that movie? And what inspired you to make that movie?
I needed a job. The thing came out in 1982, and it was hated by fans and critics. Hated. And I lost a job because of it. So I was unemployed. And the first thing that came along was Christine. And I remember reading it and thinking, oh my God, it's a haunted car movie. What am I going to do with this? However, they're going to pay me, so I needed a job, frankly. That's what it was.
Next question. Yes.
How is it working with James Woods on vampires?
Yeah, challenging. He's a great actor, and he's a brilliant ad-libber, and he steals more scenes than any human in history. And he's very fast, very smart, so he comes up with ad-libs constantly. And it's a challenging in that sense to get him to stick with the script, not have him, hurt or damage the egos of his co-stars. And we had a little moment where his personal life came into our shoot, and that was not pleasant, but it went away, and we finished the film. So in summation, I really enjoyed working